a balanced life and just to enjoy all the time you have, because all the time you have is not much. It's not much with people around you as well. I never felt manipulated more than that time. And it's really, it kind of broke me down to the core. Please make mistakes. Please fall down sometimes, but learn from it.
Welcome to episode 15 of the In Full Effect podcast. Thank you, Sander. In English, it's a little bit different, but okay.
Yeah,
to the episode all the way from Belgium. And for all the people listening, like kind of actually just on a catch-up call. And the reason I want to get Sander on the call and to ask him a few questions is because I've seen his hustle on Facebook, but he's in the event industry. He runs his own event management business, but he'll definitely be able to explain a lot more about it. So I'm very curious. Again, Sander, thank you so much for making time. I know you're a busy man, so we'll keep it a short catch-up. But yeah, so tell me a little bit, and the people who are listening, what is it that you do right now, and what is the main focus for you?
So I've been in the event industry for 4 years now. I started in 2018 in April. I wanted to start my own catering business at that time. So I started the catering business with a business partner as well. That lasted for only half a year because things didn't quite work out with me and my business partner in the industry. So at the end of 2018, I kind of changed directions. It was kind of like a black hole to jump into because I didn't really know what to expect. I'm always a guy that's always very prepared for things, but I didn't prepare for it might go wrong in the catering business. So it kind of was like a darker period. I didn't really know what to do. I started to do freelance businesses for 8 different companies, just servicing them in the event industry, leading events, helping organizing them. I waited tables as well, just to make sure my bills were paid. But that kind of changed rather quickly in about a year, where I made a contact with another company, and we kind of fused together, and I accelerated the business while my business partner, but in kind of a different way because he runs his own business, but we're working together. We kind of interacted very well with each other. And now we are running a business with 4 different branches. First branch is full service company. So just full service in all the creative ideas you could have made into an event. Second business is a catering business. Third business is a incentive business, which is actually the same as the full service events, but then abroad. So traveling to Las Vegas, to Miami, to Ibiza, to organize events where fun is the base of the event, not just boring conferences, but really fun. And the fourth business is venue management. So we run about 12 venues in Antwerp and in the northern part of Belgium, which is called Flanders. We run 12 different venues, and the venue running is a thing I am busy with the most.
Okay, cool.
But that is in a nutshell what we do.
Nice. So you're partnered up still with a bunch of other people in a bigger corporation, let's say.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much for everyone for listening so far. It's been amazing. All the support has been so great. I'm truly thankful for everybody putting in some feedback, following, subscribing, liking the episodes. It's been amazing. Without you guys, it wouldn't have been possible. Please keep doing this. This really helps out the channel. There's a lot more great episodes coming very soon that are different than the ones we had so far. So where does this interest of running your own show come from? I remember your dad wasn't, like we were always joking as children, like he's an inventor. So where does that entrepreneurial bug come from?
Well, I have no clue. I couldn't really say because we in the family, the only other people that are running their own businesses are pharmacists. So it's a very different business.
Yeah, your mom was a nurse as well, wasn't she?
Yeah. So my mom's a nurse, and the funny thing is, my youngest brother, he's a carpenter, and my oldest brother, he is running for doctor. So we're like crazy different people, and I'm not sure where the bug came from, but I discovered it and I really like it as well.
I know, right? Yeah, so that's very interesting then. So the essence of the podcast is then is like, what are your dreams? Did you want to start this catering business as a dream, or are you building up to something else? What was the dream when you started doing all of that?
I think a few years ago, I didn't really expect that I was going to do the things I'm doing today, which is quite fun. I think it just kind of grew on me. So it was I started waiting tables as my first job, not just waiting tables. I was the front of house, so to say, for a restaurant, bar, and a venue with some different meeting rooms. And I really liked the job. I really liked going to work. I worked 80 hours a week on a 5-day schedule. So it was crazy busy for 5 days, and then 2 days off to catch up on some sleep. And I really liked it. I really didn't mind working this hard. And it kind of just grew from there. So if I like working a lot, maybe an own business would be a good idea. And then I just let myself be influenced by people around me. So my first business partner, which didn't really work out in the end, but he was my boss in my first job.
Okay.
So I kind of let myself be influenced by the people around me. I was a bit more careful after the first collision, but I still do this. That was a few years ago, and right now I really think a key feature in being happy in what you do is kind of being selfish, but in a balanced way. So you make sure you only do the things that you like, and you go for your own aspirations and your own dreams and the things you like. And if you see a goal, if you see a goal you'd like to reach or a dream in front of you, just chase it if you have the opportunity. And being self-employed is really nice because I can go either way, and I don't have to look for bosses or look for other people or just I can manage my own time, which I think is really great. I still love a busy schedule, but it still is. So in the private, it's sometimes a problem, not always, but sometimes a problem. But I like working a lot, and I think taking the best deals out of it is taking me where I am now.
So do you get more anxiety of seeing an empty calendar than a full calendar?
I think seeing an empty calendar, I think, would be a kind of some relief as well these days. But I really like a busy schedule. So I'm not afraid of an empty calendar, but I think if you like to work and you want to work, you will find work. So I kind of don't really, I'm not afraid of it, but I don't like it as well. I like a busy schedule.
Sweet. Yeah. So what is the big dream for you then moving forward? Do you have like an idea, a goal that you're working towards too?
Yeah. So I think the thing I like the most about my job is making customers happy. And I think I really want to keep on doing this. So going for the big shots, making a lot of money is not really what I care about. I like attracting customers with a bigger wallet. But that's because you can make bigger projects. Mm-hmm. I don't think you will make more money of people with more money. I think you get more budget to work on a project on. So I think what my ultimate aspiration would be is to grow the business to having 5 high-level, very busy venues. So we have 12 at this time, of which 4 are exclusive for us and the other ones are preferential. I want to have 5 exclusive ones on a high level. I'd like to do 4 to 5 big events a year where I can really put my feet into, but also have a balanced private life. So to actually run a company where I'm head of the company and just making sure that all the customers are happy. I have a team behind me who really like to work as well. I don't want people who are nagging all the time or people who are snoozing the whole morning just to get at work just right on time or like 5 minutes after the time they should be in. So really have a motivational team. Also have a balanced private life because we're also looking to have kids one day. And I think if I keep on working the way I'm working now, I will reach the goal of having a balance because I could have people working for me as well. because at this time my private life is very, very, very small.
Yeah, 100%. I totally get that. Like, sometimes when we get very busy, like you hope for busy, but then when it happens, you're like barely home or barely able to maintain the relationships you have. Especially now, I noticed that it's very hard to maintain relationships in Belgium all the way across the world. Even like messaging people or stuff becomes a lot. And that's even true with your close ones, right? Mm-hmm. Cool. And then how does a high level event look like for you then? If you say you want to do 4 or 5 a year, what type of events is that?
So I think it's not just booking a venue and making sure that everyone gets drinks and food. It's about telling a story. It's about how do we create this world or this scenery for you, which is totally made to measure for your idea and your budget as well. Those are always the higher budget ones. So it's always at starting from 100K. For doing the event, but it's in a beautiful scenery where you get like really orchestrate a whole business. We did one in November of last year, which was Alice in Wonderland, and we actually booked a venue where there was nothing, and we built Wonderland.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. That is really nice to work into and just to guide people through and see surprise on faces where you should see the surprises. And I think that is what I really, really, really like. But it really depends on the customer as well. Is it private? Is it business?
Mm-hmm. Here in Vietnam, we're actually shooting for Fashion Week this weekend. Mm-hmm. And I only been to one other one. And it was quite small because I think it was like the first one after COVID that happened again. So it was still quite small. And then maybe this weekend will be bigger, but it's indeed, I've seen some other ones where they can create a whole experience, right? It's not just a show. It's like you want to be immersed and things. But that event like Alice in Wonderland, what's the goal of that event itself? Is that like a corporate event? Is that a birthday party or, concert?
So, that was a birthday party actually. So it's a private event. And it's one of these customers you have. And I think everyone should have one customer like this, who is money is not an object. And all the crazy ideas are just flowing at all times, at every moment of the day. And I think just covering all of this and making sure that it's structured in a way that the story is still running. Yeah. So you don't get just a collection of weird things, but making sure that you have a storyline which you can actually use for an event so people know they're in a team. I think this is it's crazy. So this was a birthday party, which was quite a lot of fun.
The thing is though, with higher budgets, like it allows more creativity almost, right? At least with those type of clients, like you mentioned, money is no issue, meaning I want the full experience. We have the same with productions we're doing. If we want to shoot a commercial, but there's a limited budget, your creativity goes down. But if you are able to put some more money into it, you can create magic, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing. What we like to do with customers who have a smaller budget, which is totally fine, we'd like to inspire them with the bigger budget events. Just to make sure that we're on the same level and we don't take no for an answer. And if you have a crazy idea, let's just see how we can make it work within the budget as well. Maybe it's a downsized version, but it's still a nice version. And if it's a personal touch, we think you should do it. And if you want to do the effort yourself, that's fine. Then we won't charge anything for it. But let's put all the creativity on the table at all times. And just let's see how far we can go.
Yeah, 100%. So you already mentioned a little bit, you want to grow further and then build a team underneath you and probably have some managers that are actually basically your right hands. So you don't have to micromanage the whole show. So what would be your full potential right now then, and even your full potential moving forward? Well, how does that look for you?
Well, I think it's just the full potential, I think, is just making sure that you as a person can help moving other people forward. It's quite a difficult question, in my opinion. So
It
the
is.
full
That's why I
potential
ask
is,
it.
it is, it's difficult. So the full potential at this time would be, how can we make a structure which is workable for everyone? How can we make it profitable enough so we could attract more people to support the business in order to grow? And I think the future full potential would be just making sure people are going into the directions you want them to go, by not pushing or manipulating them, but to
Not selling them.
Not selling them, but inviting them to come into your story.
Mm-hmm.
And just tell them, we think hospitality is a very big key in the business we do.
Yeah.
So the full potential would be just to give people just tips and tricks how to work better with people, how to do your job better, and just how to be a better self in order to make the business better as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a micromanagement, but on a very different level. So it's not hands-on on the business itself. It's not hands-on on how do you make an event, how do you speak to suppliers, how do you speak to customers. But I think it's how could you adapt your attitude in speaking, in handling, in body language. How could you adapt your attitude to get what you want? And I think just to steer everybody in the same direction and just to manage the whole show around it. I'm pretty sure that if we were to hire people, we would hire professionals or professionals to be, because we're looking to hire young people as well, because young people are very creative. But just to mold them a bit like clay, and just to let's see how far we can go, and let's see how we can make the best you, so you could be the best you for the best company.
And to create a system.
Yeah, so it's managing more of at an HR level, I think, but on a very psychological manner, but very transparent as well. So you don't sell tricks, you don't sell them, you just invite them in a complete transparency. And I think that is, if you could have a complete transparent business, everyone is happy at all times. And I think that works. I really believe in this.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. It's about the person and how their emotions and how they think about things. And if you put the right person in the right spot, then the right things will happen as well.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. But this is more on a company level, right? So what I'm also interested in is like for you personally, let's say your whole life. I mean, your everything, personal life, professional life, all the things you do, what is, according to you, your full potential?
That is, again, a difficult question. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure what my full potential is. The things I would like to reach is just to have a balanced life, and just to enjoy all the time you have, because all the time you have is not much. It's not much with people around you as well. So it's with your parents, they won't be there forever. I think in your experience, I think that's the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think just to make sure that you have everything in order, you're free. So you're not attached to things you don't want to be attached to. And just to have a really balanced life and enjoy all the things you want to enjoy. And I think there is a full potential which is very, very, very difficult to reach, because it's not for everyone, I think. And you have to work really hard for it as well. But I think just to be happy in every single way and enjoy things the way you'd like to enjoy them. The same for instance, if the business would grow booming, like really lots of money on the bank account, I'm not sure if I would like to move. I live in an apartment in a city just around Antwerp. It's 20 minutes from Antwerp, and it's actually Antwerp small Antwerp. I don't think I want to move, because I really like where I'm living now. So I don't want to buy a big house with a pool, and I'm not sure I want this. I just want to I really like where I live now. And I think that is a very, very cool thing to say. I like where I live now. I like what I have. The same thing if you, it was my birthday last week, and everybody asked me, what gift do you want? And I said,
Your
I just want
presence.
you. Yeah, I don't want presents. I just want you to come to my home and have a drink.
Yeah.
Because I miss the people around me because I'm so busy working. And I think that is, you obviously need money in life to maintain a lifestyle. It doesn't really matter which lifestyle. You always need some money to support your lifestyle. But I think it's being happy in every single way. I think that is a full potential I really would like to reach. Just to be happy in every single way and making sure that everything, as well as business, as well as private, as well as in social ways, to make sure that you can maintain this at all times. And things are changing as well.
Yes, actually, you just answered my next question. Like, what does success mean to you? And basically that is finding that right balance, right?
Yes, it's all about balance.
Yeah. So now we're already talking about lifestyle as well. What would be your ideal lifestyle? Let's say in 10 years.
I think in 10 years, I would still like to work a lot because I really like working. I like my job a lot. So I really like to work. But in 10 years, for the ideal lifestyle will be just to enjoy more, more things on more levels. Because I think in the last 2 years, I haven't enjoyed my private life as much as I should. Mm-hmm. And I think I should do that more. I think I should take a break sometimes. And I work really hard, but I enjoy really hard as well. But I really forget about the enjoying sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think as well as for me, as for my partner, I think that is sometimes a bit difficult. So my ideal lifestyle will be just to keep a balance in between those things.
Yeah. So when work doesn't overpower the everything. Okay. So your partner is also a workaholic like you are?
No. He's a chemical engineer. So he works in the northern part of Antwerp. He is, I would not say a workaholic because he is, I think he could look for another job which would make him more happy.
A different job or another job?
A different job.
Okay.
Different job. So he lives in a golden cage. So he gets paid a lot of money for the work he does. He works really hard, so he likes to do his job well. But he lives in a golden cage, and I think that is a very unhappy place to be in, because you get paid a lot of money, but you're not happy because you're not free to go. And I think that is the same thing. But he's very driven. He's very creative. He has like these golden hands. Everything he does, he's really amazing at. If you give him a sewing machine, in a week he makes his own clothing. It's crazy. But so he's very driven, and he's very hands-on, and he really knows what he likes. And that is a kind of different way. So he's very happy in his private life because he can do whatever he wants and he's good at everything he does. But he's not happy in his work life. And I think you spend half of your time at work. Make sure you have a happy workplace.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a different story then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What are your core values in life?
Core values, I think, is trust. But I think with a lot of people is trust. To give trust and to be trustworthy. I think those two are very, very important. I think respect as well. I think nowadays, if you look at the youth, which is working for you, about 10 years ago, it was okay to scream at people who didn't do their job too well. But I think with the youth nowadays, if you scream at them, they're just like, well, F you. I don't have to listen to you. I can look for another job. So I think respect is it's giving and taking is very important, and transparency. I really, really, really believe in transparency. If you're transparent all the time in everything you do, private life, business life, I think you could avoid so many problems if you're just transparent about things. And just be like very clear. So everything's on the table at all times. And I think that will get you further than just let's not tell this. Let's not tell this and see where it goes. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes wrong. But when it goes wrong, it's always like busted.
Mm.
And I don't like being busted. I like being very transparent at all times.
Yeah.
So
Plus the thing with trust and respect is as well, like, especially you're in a person in a bigger picture and you are building a vision for someone and for yourself. You're trying to work with people to reach that, right? But you need to be able to trust them to build together towards that thing. Throughout your life, who has been a major influence on the person you are right now?
Well, I think my parents, definitely, because they always, they never stopped me. They always let me just do my thing. They didn't have a lot of money to invest, no money at all to invest, because I have two brothers who are very big as well, and they like to eat a lot too. So there wasn't a lot of money left to invest in things, but they were always supporting the dream. Actually, they always said, like, if you want to do this, let's do this, and let's see how we could make this work. So I think being the free person that I am today is thanks to my parents. My dad taught me this thing as well. If you treat people the way you want to be treated, you will be more respectful towards them, and they will be respectful towards you as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that is a key factor that a lot of people have missed in their training or in their youth or as a teenager. So my parents, definitely, my partner as well. My partner is the one who, when I want to run for the business, he's sometimes dragging me down and says, why don't you enjoy the little things? Why don't you enjoy just being here, just being private, just let everything go? It's fine. So I think my partner as well, and some of my friends were like, really, if I don't want to talk about business, my friends really just take me out of it, and they kind of sense it as well. So let's not talk about this. Let's just have a beer and just have a laugh, have a talk.
Let's talk shit. Yeah. That's great. Is there any events in your life that changed the course of what you do or changed the way you are?
I think so the first breakup with my business partner really changed me and gave me an insight that I really need to look for what I want to do and not what other people want me to do. So I think that is a kind of major event, because I never emotionally never been so low at life at that point. So that was my lowest emotional. So I think that changed a lot in a good way, as well as moving from the little town where we grew up to Antwerp. I think that really changed some things as well. It's I think the international atmosphere that is around really changes you, and just take off like the eye flaps the horses wear. Just take them off and just look at the world and what is possible. And I think if you move to an international or more international scenery, you broaden your views on everything you know and everything you care about. Yeah,
100%. I totally agree with that. That for me, the same. When I moved away from home, first university, that was the first step already. Like, you move into a different city, but you're still a student. So there's like this kind of safety net around you, because you're still in a existing system, right? And then when you start working, that's a whole different world. Like, when you start working and you don't have the safety net that a system provides anymore, then you have to do your own thing. But then especially in a city like Antwerp, or where I was Leuven for a while. So the breakup with your business partner, was that because there was a break of trust and kind of crumbled your world, that trust is not always there? Or was it a different reason?
No, it's kind of what you're saying. I never felt manipulated more than that time, and it's really it kind of broke me down to the core. I really was like, I remember one night I was still living in the center city of Antwerp, at the on the Elantje at the Mas. We rented an apartment, and I remember one evening I came home. I just broke down. I didn't know how to talk anymore. I really felt like broken down to the core. My partner, who is still my partner today, he just took all the pillows we have, put them on our terrace, which was a really small terrace, and we just like sat on the terrace for 2 hours. We didn't say anything, and I think that is a point where I was like, I have to stop doing this.
So you were like basically used by someone to do their thing.
Exactly. And the kind of guilt he talked me into, whereas at that
he was
time,
gaslighting.
I was a 22-year-old guy who wanted to start a business so bad, and he kind of put all the responsibilities on me, but didn't give me any guidance at all while he was going towards his 50s. And he just like expected me to run it the way a fully experienced businessman should run a business. And I, even when I signaled, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I need help. Could we please have a talk, or maybe just have like guiding sessions each week, just to make sure I have some bullet points I need to get to, or some deadlines maybe. The feeling I got from being responsible for everything was my fault.
And he would take all the fame, if there was any. Yeah,
exactly. So that is, I never felt broken down to the core as much as I did that day.
Yeah, but you came out stronger, luckily, and built something better even. But the thing is, though, what makes you that you see, okay, yes, it touched you really hard, it changed you, but you phoenixed yourself out of it. You became stronger, rejuvenated, I hope. And sometimes I feel these things need to happen. It's growth, it's failure in a way, because it was a mistake perhaps to team up with him, and we were all naive when we were younger. I was like the most naive, running around on the block. But you hit your head, and then you realize like, oh, dang, this way is not the right way. And maybe the fast way is not the right way. I need to shift my focus and seek for different ports and see what happens and what works better, right? Awesome. We kind of already talked a little bit about this, like what time and money means to you. For you, you love to work a lot, but in the end of the day, we need that balance. So that's great. What has your relationship been with money throughout your life? When you first started making your own money, how did that open your eyes, or what is the experience around that?
So this is in two different ways as well. So the first job I did as an employee, I worked really hard. So I worked 80 hours a week, and every hour that I worked was paid as well. Was paid well. So I had quite some money. I really saved some money as well, which was cool. So I only had two days a week to spend that money, and the 2 days I could spend the money, I was asleep for a full day in total. So it was like when I was free and I had my free time and I was catching up with friends, I really liked to go out to eat, to have nice wines, to do the things that I like. And I didn't really care if it was 10 euros, 50 euros, or 200 euros. I didn't really care. I just did what I want. And I saved some money as well, which was really nice. When I started to work for my own, to be self-employed, that kind of changed quite drastically. So you go from money is all around, you can do whatever you want. I bought my own car with my own money, to a business where you like really had to make sure you had enough savings, because earning money as a self-employed man is way more difficult than just being an employee. So you have to be a bit more careful about money. It's not free-flowing at all times. It's just really structured in a way, because you have a bookkeeper as well, or an accountant, where you need to explain all the expenses you're making. So
and it's a lot more uncertain as well, right?
Yeah, true. But you get more conscious about money.
Mm.
You spend it on things you really like. You think about things when you go out to buy them. So I think it has been a very big money shift, so to say, but in a very nice way as well, because I think it's way more balanced at this time. I have bought my own place together with my partner, which is really cool, I think. We've been living there for 2.5 years now, which I think is really amazing because I make my own money. I work for the money myself. It's hard-earned money, and it's really nice to see the money flowing into the directions you want it to flow. At this time, I'm more conscious about money. I don't really care about money. I see the money on the professional bank account more as a way to see the results, more as a result than in the money.
Yeah, or as an opportunity for other things.
As an opportunity and to invest it, which I do at this time. I do all the time. So if we open up a new venue, it's always the money flows way too quickly into the new venue. But I see this as a result. If there's enough money on the professional bank account, I know I've worked hard for it. And I see this as a result, which is cool. Then it's nice to go out on a business dinner maybe, to treat yourself for this. Yeah. It's a really nice way of working. And then just see how do we make this money into more money, or how do we take these results and make them into bigger results. And I think that is a really nice way of thinking about.
100%. The value of money for you is basically your hard-earned work. Awesome. Do you compare yourself at all with people around you?
Not really. I don't like to compare. I'd like to be influenced by other people, but I don't like to compare, because I think the way I'm working, I really just like to do my own thing, and I like to do the things which I think are right. So if I have a good feeling with it, I'd like to follow this. So to be comparing to other people, not really, because I think comparing is not really a good way of approaching things. But I think letting yourself be influenced by the people around you, I think is a way cooler way to bring out the best you.
Yeah, 100%. That's great. The Inful Effect podcast is basically all about like self-development and personal development, basically goals and aspiration. We haven't really talked that directly about that, but what is your experience with personal development? Have you consciously worked on things like that? Like, do you actively exercise this, or because you have a bunch of employees, for example, do you use any tools, for example, to let people improve themselves, or what's your experience with all of this?
I think the best solution of improving yourself is talking to the people you look up to and have a beer with it. Because if you have a preferably alcoholic beverage with a talk, you're free to talk. You don't feel any boundaries anymore, probably after 3 beers. But it's, I think, talking and using the transparency at all times, just using this to improve yourself and just to make sure you are self-centered at all times. So having that perfect balance of selfishness, I think is really, really, really good. And I think it really is a thing you should have. And use this at all times and ask yourself, am I okay? Am I okay with this? And am I capable of going further or maybe change things? And if you're not feeling okay anymore, just turn back. And I think it's not really a tool. It's not really a thing you could buy or use, or software or something like it. It's not a tool. It's just really transparency. Transparency, I think, is a tool to improve yourself at all times, and be transparent with yourself as well. If you don't like an idea, if you have really worked hard on an idea, but it doesn't seem to fit the outcome you would like to reach, I think just be transparent. This was a lot of work thrown away, but let's start from scratch again. Just be transparent at all times. And just be you. Just be you and be the full you would like to be. And please make mistakes. Please fall down sometimes, but learn from it. Just step up and just be transparent. What did I do wrong? How can I make sure this doesn't happen anymore? Or if it will happen again, what would be the best way to interact with this? And just talk with people you look up to.
Yeah, that's a great mindset. It's basically like, don't be afraid to, like you said, fail, or don't be afraid to have a setback. And it's even okay to even set a step back. And because a lot of people, they don't want to go backwards, right? But sometimes you just have to reverse a little bit to take the next intersection, right?
Yeah, to take it. And the same thing with care for other people, but care for yourself first. It's the same as on an airplane. If the oxygen masks fall down, take care of yourself first, and then take care of other people.
Indeed, that has been a topic on a few episodes now. Indeed, that you can't help someone else if you are not in the right mindset, or if you're not in the right place to help someone. It wouldn't be the right thing to do. Awesome. Well, we're almost wrapping up. This has been amazing. There's actually a lot that I want to catch up on. It's been so long. Just want to ask you a few more questions about what is basically your favorite quote or saying, because I just heard your philosophy, basically how you go through life, your mindset, and it's amazing. But what would it be if you had like one quote that you go by?
Well, there's actually two. So I'm not
okay. Let's do two.
I'm gonna say two. So the first one is Steve Jobs. If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. And I think that's very important, because more than half of your life you will be spending at work. Make sure it's a happy workplace, because I think a lot of people are dragged down by their work, or they go to work in order to make money, to live.
Survive. Yeah.
Just look for a job which suits you. Don't care about your money too much. You'll manage, I'm pretty sure. The second one is, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but it's from Leonardo da Vinci. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Yeah, especially if you're curious, huh? Yeah, no, that's a great one. Well, honestly, it's been amazing catching up on you. And I think I could sit here for another 3 hours catching up. Maybe we should have that beer, even if it's over a Zoom call, because I have a million questions more about things. So for the listeners, we met over 25 years ago. Yeah. We were in kindergarten. Even before at kindergarten we were like in school before the first class we were allowed to attend. We were like 2.5 years old, 2 years old. I remember that. We had an amazing kindergarten. That's what I remember. And then basically throughout our whole primary school, we still stayed very close, but then secondary. Yeah, in the youth movement as well, in the Hero. Yeah. So until I was 12, and then I moved to a different one. Yeah. Well, it's been something. Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been a journey for sure. Well, thank you so much. It was great. I'm not going to take too much more from your time. And maybe for the people who are listening, where can they follow you? So I'm very followable on Instagram. So if you just Thunder Heyns, which is my just full name, you can follow me on Instagram and see all the things I do. Cool. Yeah, I will link that down below for the people listening. And I think we'll I think you're my first guest from Belgium. So there might be a lot new Belgian fans coming to the podcast. No, that's fine. That's fine. Awesome. Well, best of luck with the rest of your day. It's still early for you. I'm just after lunch. Great. Have a good one. Yeah, you too. And good luck with the podcast.